I came up in the 80s, that's when baseball was at the height of its attendance. It had like maybe almost 20% of the players were African American. Now it's down to 7%.
So why have we gone from 20% down to 7%?
I had Eric Davis when I went to Cincinnati. I had Ozzie Smith when I went to St. Louis. Those guys would pull me to the side and say, hey, young blood, you going with me after the game. Teach me a little bit about the game on the field and off the field. We don't have that in the game today. It's the mental part of the game. So we talk about the analytics and we talk about, getting those metrics. And how do our kids get tested anyway?
To see these kids around the world, I've been in Chicago, we've been in other cities, running combines, teaching kids how they need to focus on getting their numbers up, but yet providing them with those numbers to have a starting point.
I've even started to introduce 9, 10, 11-year-olds to what spin rates, spin axis, what it means to get vertical break, just understanding the terminology so that when they hear it, it's not foreign. Being able to bring those numbers together so that that 95 is right at the cutoff man, bringing the understanding of the game in conjunction with the analytics so that we can be able to continue to make it up higher and higher on the food chain.
But we don't have the technology. We just got hit Tracks and Rapsodo maybe 2 months ago, and you're spending $30,000 on the equipment just to get those numbers, right, to give to the kid. Who can afford that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's where we're at a disadvantage. So that's why I always stick to the development part of the game, because if you develop and the kid show his skills, those numbers will add up and they will be sufficient for them to get to that next level.
Talk about what you're doing, to help Marquis, but more so help your foundation and focus on other black pitchers being successful. All pitchers, not just black pitchers, but your main focus on seeing those black pitchers stick with it.
So many years ago, I used to hear, oh, there's no more black pitchers in the game, there's few black pitchers, and everybody talked about it. So I'm saying to myself, well, there's gotta be a reason why these guys don't want to pitch. Most of it was because they weren't getting the kind of information that's gonna help them continue to grow. I tried to make sure I was more of a mentor, and then I realized they couldn't afford to play in some of these showcases and tournaments and things that was going to actually give them the exposure. So I started raising funds to kind of help offset the economic costs. And then just the love of the kid. Me seeing that if a kid wanted to give 100%, then I'm going to give the same kind of energy that they give.
For me, I started my foundation in 1998. My mom was an educator, and education was so important, and I just sit back and I watch these kids not take advantage of that, especially those kids who really, truly deserve it to go to college. They're so resilient, man, and to interview a lot of these kids and give them scholarships and watch their progress and mentor them through college. I can't tell you how rewarding that is, man, to see how successful these kids are. And since then, I write children's books. Literacy is such a huge issue. Something that I love to do, man, is just inspire and motivate and get kids to dream.
We talk about having a living example of some of things that will kind of inspire us. To this day, I look at him as one of my biggest inspirations in trying to give back to the community, helping the youth, passing on information to others.
The first time I saw you get up at your event and that heartfelt message, it almost brought tears to me to see your the transition that you made to now being confident and speaking boldly.
Everybody always talk about the problem. I was the type of guy was like, I'm trying to find a solution. It's about the message that I want to try to get across to all the kids that come through the program, is to listen, learn, and retain. No whining, no complaining, no excuses. Those are my little 9 words that I say on a daily basis to the Hill Boys, to MGBA, to Travel Ball World, because those are the things that stuck with me as a kid growing up that I live by. And so that's where we're at now, man, to be able to touch, over 20,000 kids, I think, in the last 20 years. For me, that's what it's all about. And I never, ever forget what Hank told me about creating opportunity. I know I done said that a lot, but man, that's what it's about. If you can create an opportunity, whether it's through coaching, mentor, development, a listening ear, advice, a few dollars here and there. All of those things combined in one is what we do in our organization.
The message that I want to give to all black players is that regardless of what anybody else thinks of you, is what you think of yourself. I always say the end result of what you do is the situation that you put yourself in. So they got to start listening to their parents. They got to make sure that they trying to be good teammates and work hard at the craft that they're having.
You know, if I could say something to kids, you know, and I love this brand from Elbow, and I know you're familiar with Elbow. Live boldly, overcome your weaknesses. Learning to deal with failure, and a lot of them are not willing to overcome their weaknesses and work on it. So if I had something to say, live like Elbow, you know, go out there, get that confidence, work on your weaknesses, and never give up.
Number one has to be commitment. Number two has to be focus. And number three would have to be determination.
Yeah.
Because if you're not focused, if you're not committed and you're not determined to be the best you will never see the light.
Yeah.
It's gonna be ups and downs, especially in this great game of baseball. It's built on failure, just like you said. So it's not when you get knocked down, but how soon can you get back up? If you try and you work hard and you work smart, you may not become no professional baseball player, but I guarantee you'll become a professional person.
Exactly.
Keep your game face on for life.